Everything you learned in history class was a lie. Well, maybe not everything, but they skipped the best parts. Introducing Stupiracy, where stupidity meets conspiracy. Ever heard of the Olympic marathon that nearly killed its runners? Or the time a pope put another pope's corpse on trial? Join me, Scott Rizzuto, and Tim McKernan as we uncover the most outrageous historical moments and mind-blowing conspiracies you won't believe actually happened. Tune into Stupiracy for your weekly dose of historical absurdity. Available wherever you get your podcasts. Remember, history is dumb, but laughing at it is smart.
Little nostalgia here, Mayor.
No, nostalgia would have been if you let it play for 2 minutes before you turned your mic
I
on.
was just going to say, the great advantage of this song was, if necessary, it could go 5 minutes as the pre-seed on Saturday. My favorite, Kenny, was when they started rerunning Saturday Sports Talk on Sunday nights, and the ads weren't running. So, okay, 6:02. It would run till like 6:08 in case you wanted to continue. In case you wanted to listen to the rerun, you had to sit through 6 minutes of this. Yes, it would run like 6 minutes. It was great. Remember how upset people got when we started? We didn't always run this. We switched to summer wind in the summers. They wanted the tradition, man, back in the day.
Yeah, we had summer hours.
Yes, well, we did. That was Monday night. We never had summer hours on the Saturday afternoons, though. We did the whole 2-hour grind on Saturday afternoons. But
I was going through
Saturday morning.
I mean, yeah, Monday nights we did have summer hours. Yeah.
I was going through some old photos, cleaning stuff out. And
I saw one.
Yeah,
you said.
Yeah, and this one has Jack and Lori were on stage at Super Talk Saturday.
Okay.
Must have been after Sports Talk. They had Jack and Lori on the stage. Yes,
really. I love Jack.
And their
Lori.
key was, what did they do?
Practiced.
They practiced in the lunchroom on
Yes,
Main
they were in
Maplewood.
the lunchroom.
It was just a.
What kind of show was it?
It was a. They were awarded a show. I don't know how they got it on Saturdays, and they would sit in during Sports Talk, sit in the whatever was the lunchroom.
Oh.
No, the lunchroom, and they would practice. Then you do this, and I'll say this.
Preble and Murphy.
Well, kind of like that.
Those kind of broadcasters always crack me up.
Well,
That's so funny.
but Jack and Lori were like driving from Oak Lacrosse.
Yeah, they were a ways into Wisconsin.
Somebody had discovered.
Were they
them.
married?
I think so.
Yeah, after 6 of those trips, they were.
And somebody had discovered them, and I'm not sure who the PD was back then.
Yeah, they weren't there too long.
No, it didn't last.
No,
too long.
it wasn't too long.
But we, being the supportive people we were, used to say, "Joe," on the air, we'd say, "Joe, they're in there practicing. What the hell?" Yes, that was. I think our worst moment though was when we had Puke and Snot. By the way, one of them's dead now, right? Either Puke or Snot died, I think.
I forget which.
But we were the official station of the Renaissance Festival. So remember Saturdays, like 2 Saturdays in a
and
row.
I kept saying I've never been there.
We'd say we're never going to go, and then we had either Puke or Snot on, and we basically said, "This isn't funny.
Yeah.
This isn't funny, Puke. This isn't funny." And that was our first and last year as the official station of the Renaissance Festival, I believe.
Have you ever
why
been
they
to
left.
it?
No,
Either have I.
but I drove by.
I love it.
I drove by the Renaissance Festival on the way to New Prague
It must be a terrible
Saturday.
success.
No, it's fun.
Nobody
It is
going
fun.
in Saturday. When did I go? Sunday? Saturday or Sunday?
Well, I got
I-
to think the fair would eat into their.
Well, Sunday I drove by to go down to the Shakopee site for the Chanhassen game, and there was a line all the way
was
back
there?
to
'Cause I didn't
Chaska.
see one. I didn't. Yeah, it's always competed with the state fair, though, Joe. It's always been on then. So
Where is
I've
it?
never been there.
Well, it's moved, hasn't it?
It's right on 169 in Shakopee.
Yeah,
It has
used
not
to be
moved yet, but
I
will
thought it
be.
used to be somewhere.
So it's just south of Shakopee.
Right, exactly.
So
In
as you're
fact,
heading out of Shakopee.
correct. If you're heading down towards
Did I
Mankato.
ever tell you, Such, I had a couple of neighbors that used to work down there, and one time they were down in the park by my house. They were practicing sword fighting. About 16 cops showed up. Lights and sirens on because some knuckleheads thought that there were a couple of sword fighters on third base going at it.
Was it two guys?
No, it was, they were practicing. They worked at the Renaissance.
They did it, yeah.
I get your joke, Matthew. It's not
Yes,
funny.
yeah.
Any late word on Sano? Did you see the replay?
Yes.
I thought he was going
killed
go-go
himself.
on him.
Yeah, I thought he killed himself, and then now they're saying it's bruised, right?
Yeah.
But last year they said that they ended up having to put a steel rod in his leg.
Well, that's what I kept thinking last night.
Yeah.
He snapped it.
Snapped the rod. Yeah, I don't know.
He looked to be in pain.
Yes, he did.
But by the time he got carted off, he was waving to
But
people.
here's the good news: we still don't have a room for bats for Buxton. We still can't fit him in, even even without Sano and Rosario in the lineup. We still just can't fit him in. So,
I bet you Sano's done for the year.
well, I wouldn't bet against it.
Yeah.
Although he's got a better chance to heal than he did 3 months ago when he weighed 295. But it's been amazing. He got himself in better shape, and he still can't hit. So I don't know what's going on there. But I stayed up till 1:05 a.m. to watch Nadal play tennis. 4 hours and 49 minutes.
That's 2 a.m. in New York.
Yeah, it was 2:04 a.m. when it ended.
Wow.
It's fifth set tiebreaker, and Nadal is it's 6-5, and the other guy has a big old overhead, and he missed it in 7-5. But at 2:04 in the morning,
Were any people still there?
there were some. The coach of the Golden State Warriors, Steve Kerr, was there. Ben Stiller was there. They showed a few, but there were a lot of people gone too. Mm-hmm. But Nadal's extremely popular, so plus New Yorkers, they think it's kind of cute to stay there till 1:32 in the morning and watch the match.
Well, the town never sleeps.
No, and they're really into that tennis. There's a large group that is into that tennis tournament out there.
Well, it's
New
become a
York
hot celebrity spot.
New York treats it like a big deal.
Yeah.
They do. So anyway, Nadal is
When are the finals? Or was that
Sunday.
the final?
I think the women on Saturday and the men on Sunday, if I'm not mistaken.
Do they still divert the airplanes there? Or are they going over every 30 seconds?
I didn't hear them as much last night. Now they used to when they were in the older one that they flew right over the top, but maybe they do veer them off a little bit. I don't know.
Where did it used to be? At Forest?
Well, didn't you see it at the
Yeah,
old place,
yeah.
Forest Hills?
Yeah.
And then they
Old
moved,
ivy-covered walls.
and then for years they played in the Louis Armstrong Stadium was the big stadium, and then they built Arthur Ashe, which is enormous.
Yeah.
Towers over everything, but when
Flushing Meadows? Does
right
that-
next to Shea Stadium. That's
Yeah. Oh,
next
okay.
To Shea Stadium.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
And thus right next to LaGuardia.
Yes. Yes. But I was there once for 2 days covering Steffi Graf playing Celis after Celis came back from being stabbed.
Right.
And I told you that those tennis writers, if you come waddling in as a not part of the club, they look down their nose at you, man. Like, what is this person doing here, occupying a seat?
Well, can newspapers even still afford a tennis writer? Hell no.
I think the Times and the Post they probably do other things,
Right.
but
They used to have just tennis writers.
yes, right, and they'd go Australian Open and
Yeah.
and all over.
Monica never really got it back together, did she, after being stabbed? I don't remember her doing
She
anything.
did not.
after
She
that.
was a good player, but she
was a
wasn't
really
dominant
good-
like- But she was the original
Grunter.
yelper.
Yeah, I loved Monica.
What was the tournament here at Minnetonka? It was a big deal.
Yeah, it was a Minnetonka Invitational, and they'd have like 16 players and
Yeah.
they'd play out there on the clay. They had clay, didn't they?
But real players, I mean pros,
Grass.
right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Not like
they did.
Ili Nastasi coming to, hey, roll him out. Here he is again. The senior tour.
No, it wasn't senior. It was real, but it was sort of the second level of the of the good players, and they had it out there for years.
A lot of people dressed in white for that.
Oh yes, yes.
White people dressed in white.
White people dressed in
right.
white. Yeah.
That is true.
Well, so who was going at Minnetonka? Was it open to the public or just
yeah.
club members?
No.
Oh, they let the unwashed in.
Yes.
Oh,
they did.
interesting.
Oh, somebody had to park the cars.
That would have been fun. That'd be fun,
Yeah, I covered that once.
especially if
twice.
they have a clay court over there.
I believed at the time it was. I'm not sure.
True,
now.
but maybe
Interesting.
I'm wrong. I got to admit, I never went over there.
All right, just a moment.
Well, it's been building up inside
Some of the
me
greatest
for
people in the world are undertakers. I grew up with one who was crazy. Most of his buddies were goofy too.
Yep.
Kenny Malone and the boys, they were all goofy.
What do you think? It was a
And-
defense mechanism?
Yeah, it could put a little humor in your life.
Yeah.
Yes. And the
Because
Muellers.
you didn't have a pleasant task.
No, it wasn't something you look forward to.
Right.
But the Muellers are as funny as it gets right
Well,
there.
when he
right?
shakes your hand, he goes right for your pulse.
Yeah, that's right. He's how you're doing, and he sent you a coffin. That's nice.
and then he'll sign his cards either eventually yours or patiently waiting.
Very affable fellow.
Very affable.
Yeah,
Very good guy.
They are. They say that the conventions, the funeral directors' conventions, used to be a little wild.
Oh, I
back
can
in the day.
imagine.
Lots of
What's the
drinking.
farthest Richard would have gone for one? Did he ever leave the state?
I can't remember him leaving the state. I remember there was one every year in the Twin Cities, though. And the family didn't, as I recall, the family didn't accompany him on that one. He was on his own. So, yeah, they were some characters.
So he might have had a
a
mark.
lot
or
of
two.
pranks on each other. They played lots of pranks. You know, they could get you a toe. If they wanted to play a prank, they could get you a toe. So.
Get you a toll
Anyway.
by 3 o'clock. Okay, Pat.
Yes.
Houston's got a nice club.
Oh, no kidding. They're the world champions, yes. But they're better. They're better than the Fighting Twins. If you've reached that conclusion,
I've reached that conclusion.
that's good.
And Vikings in San Francisco, I'm not hearing a lot of buzz.
And you keep saying this, and it's the most important thing in the Twin Cities right now. We're more worried about that in the Twin Cities than we are the Kavanaugh hearings.
I didn't realize
It's
that.
just the crowd you travel with because there's this is the optimism run over. They are this is the year Viking fans think. This is it.
It's the offensive line repaired.
Well, it's shaky, and they've had a couple of injuries, but the rest of it is outstanding. There's about 3 good offensive lines in the NFL. Everybody else is all beat up.
Is
anyway.
Dalvin Cook back and healthy?
Yes, he's healthy, and I heard Judd today predicting wonderful things for him. And they got a lot of weapons. They're really good.
And we think
defensively,
Kirk
they're
Cousins is the answer.
Oh yeah, he's good. Yeah. He's the best quarterback since Culpepper in 2004. I would say Culpepper was fantastic in 2004, but Favre in 2009 had a great season.
I've never seen a group of people more willing to stand in line to get kicked in the crotch in my life.
Than
referring to
Viking fans?
Viking fans. It's just amazing. They're so forgetful.
You know what though, Kenny? I think the Cubs were more lovable before they won.
Yeah.
And the Red Sox were more lovable before they won. And if the Vikings ever win it, take all the fun out of it. Yeah. I think the pain is what's fun, and the fact that you can go around and say, "Oh, poor us." There's a mystique. Now, it would be nice if they could finally get back to the Super Bowl and then fall on their ass again to get number 5. Which that was to me. It was all set up for that last year, don't you think?
Yeah.
They get it home. They get it in their own building. And then they lose number 5. Yeah. That was that would have been the hope.
One of those suckers is sitting in here in the room with me right now over there dreaming of life at the Super Bowl.
No, I'm fully convinced it's never happening. That's after they lost to the Eagles.
Where
Atlanta.
is this? Atlanta.
That's
you'll be there. Even if you don't have a ticket, you'll be driving to Atlanta.
Where the kicker will miss the field goal at the end because they're in Atlanta.
But you're right. I don't think about the Cubs in the same way I used to.
Oh, it was more fun.
I hate them more now.
Yeah, exactly.
I hated them before. Now I really hate them.
Well, not only the fact that they won it, but they're good now.
They're good.
They're
yeah.
actually good. They're going to be good for. They keep recycling themselves, and they're going to be. They might be back in the World Series this year. Not as much fun. It was, the one thing I really missed. I didn't cover that in 2004. I didn't cover the American League Championship Series when the Red Sox came back from being down 3-0 to beat the Yankees. First team ever to come back from 3 down, and then they win the World Series for the first time in 86 years. Or
I guess I'm
it was.
not appreciating enough the National League West. What a race that is.
Yeah, but they're all kind of stumbling and bumbling right now. But it is a good race. It is a good race. Yeah, Colorado, Arizona, and Dodgers everybody's kind of messing around. So
Arizona hasn't been in the series for a while.
Once they were in it once. 0-1.
Yep.
They saved baseball though by beating the Yankees in 7 games because that would have been 5 and 6 years, and we would have really hated the Yankees. And we would have really hated the imbalance of baseball if the Diamondbacks hadn't won that game.
Can the Yankees overtake the Red Sox?
No.
Okay.
No, not now. No, the Red Sox righted themselves. But the Yankees will be in a 1-game playoff with who? Oakland? Probably Oakland.
Probably, because Houston's most likely going to win that division.
Reavers, you heard this because I mentioned it earlier, but last night Oakland's playing the Yankees, and their starting pitcher was the great Australian former twin Liam Hendriks. I thought he was back as a tour guide in Melbourne or some damn thing. I had no idea he was even still pitching, and he started last night. Twins didn't have much. Twins didn't have much success with that Australian invasion, did they? That they had all those players. So. What are we doing in there? There's something going on in there?
A guy that works for a major demolition company in town has invited me to drive some equipment of theirs because last hour I was opining about how all I really wanted to do in life is drive dozers.
Yeah.
And this is one of the biggest companies, respected companies in town, and I don't want to just show up and drive a Traco. I want a job.
Oh, okay.
I want to drive heavy equipment for the rest. His name is Andy, right?
Yeah. Remember, Andy, remember when we never got to go see those Ford plant tunnels ever?
Mm-hmm.
No, I saw Andy at the fair.
Right.
I
That's
think.
the guy.
Yeah.
Andy, I'm your next
Are
employee.
these automatic shifts? Are the bulldozers
You should take
automatic?
that with you.
What
gear is it
you
in?
just do like this.
Wait, they don't drug test, do they? I was around some less than desirable people over the weekend.
Imagine
I might
the
have-
big hard hat on.
Yes.
What gear?
Security vest.
Where's drive on this?
Give me
thing?
the thumbs up.
The big yellow vest.
Yeah.
Pat, you did a great job on the demolition of the house, but it was the green one on the left side,
It was
not
the
the red
wrong
one
house.
on the right.
Such, have you seen the demolition they've done on this lumber yard on Franklin and Barry down here?
No, I'm too heartbroken about the Pillsbury Mansion demolition.
That's
Don't even mention that.
That's
I can't think of that.
disgusting,
and they
man.
tore her down in about 20 minutes,
Oh,
didn't
God
they?
almighty. I hope
And then
somebody
they wa-
got in there to
And
save architectural pieces.
How can they not defend? How can they not identify who's doing this? They got to deal with the city. The city's it's public government.
Yeah, the
They
guy's
won't
been
reveal who
named.
did- they finally named him.
Yeah, he has been named. I forget what his name, but he's just going to parcel it out.
Well, is it
and-
whoever bought it from Junt? Guy named
Yeah.
Junt.
Junt
owned
was
it.
the one that
Jim
owned it
Judd
prior
owned
to.
it.
The
He was
photo in the paper looks like they dropped some dynamite
Oh,
on
yeah,
it. It's
just
it's
flat.
Yeah, it's a heartbreak.
Say, Sports Talk will return shortly, but now thanks to our great friends in Owatonna, Minnesota, at Federated Insurance, where it's their business to protect your business, and nobody does that better than Federated. It's Frank
Miller and
from And Your Money Now.
Exactly.
They mostly lower. The Dow saw a modest gain on the day, up around 23 points. The S&P down modestly. The NASDAQ down over 1%. Its social media stocks got walloped on the day. Those declines came as the CEOs of Twitter and Facebook gave testimony on Capitol Hill about social media hacking and data breaches. In today's economic news, the Commerce Department said the trade deficit widened to $50.1 billion in July. That compares to $45.7 billion in June. In commodities, oil fell around 1.7% today as the tropical storm that hit the Gulf Coast weakened and moved away from key oil-producing sites. Oil down $1.15 to $68.72 a barrel. And shares of GameStop were among the biggest gainers on Wall Street today after the video game retailer reportedly received an offer to sell the company. A pair of investment firms reportedly expressed interest in purchasing GameStop, who is also working with a financial advisor on a potential sale. Shares of GameStop up over 15% on the day. That's your money now on 1500 ESPN. Here's Kenny Soulman Olson.
Kenny, do you want to take it away from me?
You go ahead, Rook.
All right, I can do that. Hey, a lot of questions about the Garage Logic podcast. When is it available? Where can we find it? What's it going to be like? We'll find out on Monday, September 10th, when we present the Garage Logic podcast. You won't be able to find us on the air, but you will be able to find us at your convenience. Go to garagelogic.com. Write it down, garagelogic.com. If it's your dad, uncle, or grandpa that listens, or grandmother, or auntie, why don't you show them as well? It's really easy to do. Go to garagelogic.com and start practicing downloading the podcast, because the podcast will be available on Monday, September 10th.
Wait a minute. You can sign up and it downloads itself.
Here's John Height.
Thank you, Joe. It's partly sunny and 71 degrees. This update brought to you by Fratelloni's Ace Hardware and Garden Store, proud sponsor of The Beer Show with Mr. Reavers here on 1500 ESPN.
Is that tonight?
Nope, that's tomorrow night.
Oh, tonight we got the Great Outdoors.
That's right.
Twins and Astros
Formerly hosted by Kenny Olson.
Yeah, until I had enough.
Twins and Astros again tonight in Houston. Jake Odorizzi will go for the Twins. Lefty.
He's not an opener. He's a starter.
Well, 5 1/3 you'll get from him. A fresh 5 1/3 innings. Lefty Framber Valdez goes for the Astros.
You know, the opener would drive me crazy, Patrick, but because it drives you so insane, it makes me
for it.
Yeah.
You know what we should do to really speed the game up? When an Odorizzi pitches, you just started and he's not pitching anymore, and there's one out in the bottom of the sixth, and the other team's ahead 5-2. And then you just think all the time you could save, and then you play it from there because you know what's going to happen. 5 1/3.
Miguel Sano, by the way, day to day after bruising his left leg last night.
He will. Joe's right. I'll give him. Give us a date. What's today? 6th?
Yep.
Today's the 5th.
5th. I'm sorry. Yep.
Okay, it's the 5th. He will not have played by the 15th.
Oh, God.
Guaranteed.
Oh, no.
Good news for Minnesota United. Playmaker Darwin Quintero, who has missed the past 2 games with a calf injury, trained in full with the group at the National Sports Center yesterday. He is likely to play September 12th when the Loons play DC United.
Well, how come we're not playing any games?
Yeah, there's a big layoff.
They just willy-nilly don't play for a week. I don't get it. Let's have a established schedule here.
News notes from today. The State Patrol is investigating whether a wrong-way driver suffered a possible drug overdose in a crash Tuesday on Highway 280.
And he bounced off about 5-6 cars, didn't he? Before he actually crashed and they drug him out.
Yep. According to the State Patrol, the driver of the minivan, identified as 21-year-old Damari Devon Tietzel, was reportedly traveling south on 280 about 6 p.m. He then turned his van around and crashed into 2 vehicles as they approached Broadway Street. Jeez. State Patrol reported Tietzel was believed to have been impaired and actively resisted the trooper who was trying to leave him.
Here.
No, he was going
280 on Broadway.
Wait, was he going? He was going north in the southbound lanes, right?
He was traveling south on northbound Highway 280.
Okay.
At 6 p.m. Then turned the van around. That's when he hit 2 other vehicles.
Yeah. Where in the hell did he turn it around there, Johnny? Just make a U-turn through the median?
It was around EPD, wasn't it? Yeah.
He was transported to Hennepin Healthcare with injuries that were not considered life-threatening. Meanwhile, authorities determined a 43-year-old man and 22-year-old man who were hit in the crash both suffered injuries not considered life-threatening. The incident still under investigation.
How did he get... Well, whatever.
It's amazing the amount of people that shoot up and then hit the road, and then the next thing you know, they're on the nod. I mean, they just literally pass out behind the wheel. It's absolutely shocking.
30 more people have fallen ill after eating Kellogg's Honey Smack cereal, including one from Minnesota. According to an updated Centers for Disease Control and Prevention report.
By the way, that was my nickname in high school.
What's that?
Honey Smack.
Honey Smacks, oh yeah. As of August 30th, 130 people total have been affected by the 36-state salmonella outbreak. New cases reported in 19
What do we
states.
got in a Honey Smack?
Honey.
What's it made out of?
Honey
Sugar
is
Smacks.
a little.
It's made out of love, Patrick.
Yeah, honey, and then just a little wheat of some kind. I've never
they're
had
just
a Honey Smack.
little puffs, kind of wheat puffs.
A lot of sugar in this one, though. Huh? Probably.
Honey Smacks are the sister of Sugar Smacks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember Sugar Smacks was big in the
Can't get
70s?
enough super sugar
Give me a
crazy.
smack and I'll smack you back.
Yeah. Oh,
Raisin Bran. That's it for me.
Kellogg's.
Raisin Bran, the only cereal I'll eat.
Gross.
The one with extra raisins.
They're prunes. Yuck.
Yeah, well, some of us could use
I
those.
got to get things moving.
Yes, right.
Had a little bit of
Kellogg's Honey Smack way. Well, Honey Smack is sweet. You'll be hopping down the street. Hopping on your hands. Hopping on your feet. Yeah. You'll be hopping. Yeah, you'll be hopping. We dig 'em like that. We dig 'em like that. We dig 'em on the food. As a matter of fact. You'll be hopping. Yeah, you'll be
You know what I'm saying?
Sugar Smacks.
Please.
I want to be a barista. You want to be a mailman.
I think I'm going to be a mailman.
I want to drive equipment.
Hey, what's the Krabby
I want
barbershop joke that the guy came that made the barbershop, the Krabby barbershop?
I don't know.
You guys, Joe and Rook are going to need post-radio careers. So
Okay.
he built them signs for their new shop.
He suggested
Matthew has
barbershop.
not opened his up yet. It's on your desk.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
I would never be a barber. I hate that. You have to look at people's heads.
No, the worst thing, Patrick, you'd have to talk to these dumb bastards.
Yes.
Yeah.
How was your weekend? You want your neck
What's
shaved?
new?
Right.
What do you do for a living?
I
That
wish I could find a nice Chinese barber, though.
doesn't talk at all.
No, plus
No
they
English?
burn, the hair out of, they
Why are
burn
you
it.
setting my head on
Oh,
fire?
it's fantastic. They get rid of every bit of fuzz you got.
What do you mean
on
they
you.
set you on fire?
They got a little
Never heard of
tiny-
this one.
They got a
Well, they
little
got a bit
tiny
lighter?
flame like that. And they,
Really?
Patrick,
yeah.
Dum Dum came in here yesterday with a fresh haircut and gave us all the details, including the stylist name.
Libby.
Libby. And I've had my barber went out of business, so I've been going to a new barber for the past, 6-8 months. I still don't know what his name is. I have no idea.
Go to Sports Clips in Highland and say hi to Libby for me.
Yeah.
Some fun today in Congress. Now, of course, we have the
I got my
hearings.
haircut dates posted in the garage next to my oil changes.
How often do you go? This is something I've given thought to. How often do you go?
4 times a year, maybe.
Yeah, you're kind of thin there.
Yeah, I don't have any hair.
I should be going once a month. I envy the guys that cut their own hair.
Is this the kind of stuff that's going to be on the podcast?
No.
So what happened today? What did I miss?
Well, this is not the Judge Kavanaugh hearings.
Okay.
This is better. Okay.
This is Alex Jones and
Nope, this is not Alex Jones
Okay.
either. Republican. I didn't bring the Alex story in because Joe doesn't want me to ever talk about him on the air. So I
Thank
did.
you for sharing, Jenny. Anne was getting a little chummy. When people get too chummy with me, I like to call them by the wrong name to let them know I don't really care about them.
That's awesome. Oh, my God. He's my hero.
This is at a House Energy and Commerce Committee hearing today. Republican Representative Billy Long from Missouri took an unconventional approach when a protester interrupted that House Energy and Commerce Committee hearing about Twitter today. Give a listen.
Because Jack Dorsey is trying to influence the election, to sway the election.
What'd she say? I can't understand her. What?
Steal the election. That is why
What's
he
she-
is censoring and shadow banning.
How about it in? 12 and a half, 15, 7 and a half, $20, 2 and a half, 5, 7 and a half, 30. Yep, $30
you gotta
half
do the
here,
end
2
of
and a half,
this,
5, 35, 7 and a half, 40. Yep, $40, 2 and a half, 5, 45, 7 and a half, 50. 3 and a quarter now, half, 3 and a half, 5, 400. Yeah, but a 4, 4 and a quarter, 4 and a half. We're selling the cell phone there, 4 and a quarter, 4 and a half. Yep, 4 and a half, 475, 500, 5, 5 and a quarter, 5 and a half. I yield back.
That's fantastic.
Billy used to be an auctioneer.
Billy
Wow.
did, yes. Billy was a professional auctioneer before he joined Congress.
He's a genius,
That is
what he is.
fantastic.
I love at the end we're going, and I yield.
Yield back.
Loomer was Laura Loomer's the activist. She refused to stop interrupting so long, drew up his auctioneering skills until Loomer was eventually escorted.
Laura Loomer.
You had her in a story
Didn't
last
she
week.
come up? Isn't she local?
She did something here that it was a Minnesota story, but I don't remember.
She goes wherever she's needed, Joe.
Where is she? We're up. They're having a Twitter hearing to see if Twitter's being unfair to the conservatives.
Correct. Yes,
Okay.
she's known as an alt-right
Okay.
columnist, Twitter person.
She came
blogger.
up in conjunction with the allegations of domestic abuse against Keith Ellison.
That's what it was. Yes, you're correct. Yes.
But Laura is. So she's on the same side as Billy, or what?
I don't think so.
She's a little further to the right.
I
or
think
what?
further to the right than
Okay,
Billy.
all right.
Yes. Yeah. British police today did name 2 men as the prime suspects in that nerve agent attack on a former Russian spy and his daughter last March. The incident, which unfolded in Salisbury, England, left double agent Sergei Skripal and his daughter seriously ill for weeks. The 2 people, Russian nationals Alexander Petrov and Ruslav Berishov, will be charged with conspiracy.
Russia knows nothing about this. They know nothing.
Nothing about it. That's correct.
We know
There
nothing.
goes Sergeant Schultz on you.
Yes.
All right, just a moment.
Don't forget, this week we are featuring stories from the Folder, our rock and roll stories.
It's going to be hard to beat yesterday's. You had some very fine stories
did,
yesterday. Yes.
Yeah, there's some good ones here.
Okay.
We haven't even heard my favorite yet.
Well,
I'll know it when it's coming.
That should be last, don't you
I
think?
think that's the headliner.
Saving it for Friday.
I think that should be the last story on Friday. A Riverside man, Riverside, Illinois, was arrested for drunkenly falling and passing out on top of his mother.
Oh, son.
I like that.
Oh, son.
He wasn't making advances, was he? He
No.
was just drunk.
He was drunk and passed out. He pinned her to the kitchen floor for hours, according to a press release from the Riverside
Gross.
Police Department.
Oh, that poor
God,
woman.
I don't. Gratefully, I'm not recalling this one.
The 81-year-old woman laid there for an extended period of time before she was able to get relatives to call police.
Are we going to get some weight? Are we going to get some weight on the son?
Nope, no
Oh,
way,
shucks.
no. When first responders got there, they reported the legs of the mom and the son were intertwined, and the son was passed out as he laid on mom.
I see myself falling on Marjorie. This is what I see right
And
here.
I see a deceased Marjorie.
That's right.
The
Who
mom,
could fit in this?
Yeah, right.
the mom was taken to Loyola University Medical Center, and yes, she had some hip issues when they took her. And the son, taken to McNeil Hospital, he had to be treated for alcohol poisoning.
Did we give family names? No family names here, Johnny?
None. Only we got the name of the fella. His name
Okay.
was Robert Gulba.
The story is worthless without weights.
Yeah, we need the weight.
Yeah,
we,
John.
we at least need the weight of the guy who did
Yeah, it
the
wouldn't
fall.
matter, though, if mom was delicate. I mean, if she was small.
Well, she's 81. Yeah,
But can you imagine that drunken, gross slob drooling and breathing on you for hours while you're screaming?
Hold still, Mom.
So in other words, this guy was basically passed out on top
Mom,
of
shut up. I'm trying to sleep.
In
Boy,
Ireland,
at the family reunion, though, that was a conversation piece. And then he fell on me drunk, and I was pinned under him for a day.
And he's got the booze sweat, so they're both just covered in that alcohol sweat.
You know what that family had at that dinner? A topic.
What happened to you, Lucille, this year? Oh, well.
Yeah, you think that goes in the Christmas letter?
in Ireland, a plumber tunneled a hole from under his
I
bed
remember this one.
to the local pub 800
yes, I remember
feet
this story.
from his house over the course of 15 years, a court heard. Patsy Kerr had been summoned to Omagh County Court after it emerged he had been the cause of a collapsed sewage pipe from a neighboring house. He told the court about his secret tunnel and the reasons behind it. He said the wife has a bad snore on her.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I remember this one.
And after watching...
She's got a bad snore.
That's
snore on
my
her.
people talking there.
Would you like me to do it in an accent?
Yes, I would.
The wife has...
Jesus, you should hear.
The wife has a bad snore on her, and after watching The Shawshank Redemption one night in 1994, I decided to do something about it. So I waited till she was in a deep sleep and then set about digging a hole under the bed in the direction of the pub. I used all manner of tools, from spoons to a heavy-duty tunnel boring machine.
What?
That I managed to sneak down there when she was out shopping.
Oh, my word.
It wasn't until 2009 that I hit the jackpot and came up through the women's toilet mop and bucket room at the pub.
Where's the dirt going?
Take it out in your pocket. One pocket.
It's like Stalag 17.
No, like Andy and Shawshank, you put it in your the crease or the cuff on your leg, your pant leg.
Kerr explained how he spent the last 5 years heading to the pub via his tunnel at 11 p.m. He would then return to the house through the tunnel at 1 a.m., undetected by his deep sleeping wife.
Why not just walk out the door?
Yeah, just oil up the hinges and sneak out.
Yeah, that'd be
I think
better.
this is a clever fellow.
He said he told the court, "To be honest, I was sort of glad I got caught. She was always smelling drink off me in the morning, and I was explaining it away as a natural odor."
This guy, instead of being charged with anything, he should have gotten a roaring applause and carried down the street on people's shoulders.
Patsy continued, "But recently I was finding myself singing rebel songs and stuff coming back up the tunnel, so I knew it was only a matter of time before I got caught." Wow. The tunnel was finally discovered after the DOE performed a survey on a sewage problem, which turned out to be caused by a pipe that Kerr had accidentally hit, causing sewage to leak into his tunnel over a 5-year period.
This had to take years to build.
So
this
15,
thing.
right?
So not only is he going down into the tunnel, but there's sewage in there, and he's still using the tunnel.
Yes. The judge questioned
dedication.
The judge questioned Kerr's wife as to why she never smelled the sewage odors from her husband. She simply shrugged.
Wow. I don't pay any attention to him.
She doesn't sound like an interested
No, but the guy, I mean, come on. I agree with Kenny. Even I could spray a little WD-40 on the door there.
Sneak out the back.
Out the front.
Andy Dufresne crawled through a 1/2 mile of the most vile vomit and poop that was ever had at Shawshank.
You're doing an imitation.
We just don't know who.
Yes.
A Washington state man with no teeth has been charged with assault and malicious mischief after he allegedly gummed his roommate's arm after she told him she wouldn't clean his ear.
Yeah.
Pretty bad mental
That
picture.
story
there.
is gross in many ways there.
I'm going to gum you first.
How bad was the
gum.
ear, John?
Kenneth Chambers' roommate at the Rancho Villa Mobile Home Park in Lakewood, Washington.
Kind of like In Heaven's Arms down in
Harlingen.
1 foot in the grave, rest home.
The roommate turned down the ear cleaning request, and he allegedly got so upset that he broke a door off its hinges, then went after her wrist with his toothless mouth.
Nom, 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 nom.
Like a corn on the cob. He's just going up and down and twisting it as he goes.
The 52-year-old who...
52 and no teeth. Huh?
Well, he has dentures, but he rarely wears them, according to the story. Didn't have his teeth in, but the woman said he still bit down hard enough without his teeth that it hurt her arm.
Did she drop him? Did we split up here now?
This could be the beginning of a beautiful relationship.
Yeah, remember they were roommates, so I don't even know if they were boyfriend-girlfriend at the time. So
They are now.
he allegedly also dumped water on the gal, causing damage to her hearing aid.
Oh, boy.
One thing after another.
You know, Grandpa Red would.
You know what, John? This story makes you feel better about your condition in life.
Yes, it does.
Grandpa Red had, he played the drums, but he also had false teeth.
Okay.
And I don't know how he did it. He was very good at what he did, but he would drum and get the sticks in one hand, pop his teeth out, catch them, pop them in, and do the other thing. All in one
That
move.
was part of the trick?
Yeah, that was
That's
part of the, he was,
wonderful.
just kind of like a, You hear the
what's
slide?
Who wants
He
to
was-
see a guy catch his teeth?
He was a
part of the
respectable
act.
drummer, wasn't he? He was
Yeah,
a
but
bit
he liked
renowned.
he liked to fool around too, though. I mean, he was.
But he played with some serious acts. Didn't he?
He did. Chet Atkins said nobody kept better time than Red Maddock.
There you go.
Anyway.
After
But it was
the-
just funny with his teeth. I don't know how you would do it without missing a beat. Yeah, you can't do that when you're playing
Dentures
drums,
aren't
Joe.
funny.
No.
I've never found dentures.
I have standards.
You mean the chattering teeth that you wind up?
I thought you were going to tell me when he was playing, he'd pop them out and chatter him to the beat.
He wasn't that talented.
Now that would be fun.
That would be good, yes.
Well, John,
All right,
those are
John.
some marvelous examples
Yeah,
of
we
our
got,
Hall of Fame stories.
We'll have more tomorrow.
Some shocking information, Rook.
What do you got?
He tells me he likes routine. He doesn't like change.
Yeah, change for
Did
my
you
guy
ever
isn't quite,
did you ever detect that any time in your?
He's not a
20
good waiter.
And Pat said,
20 years.
Yes, I've noticed that.
Yes, I have seen that.
I've noticed that.
How long have you been the guy? 20 years?
Oh, God, no. 22 at least.
22?
20. I was probably, it was 90. Yeah, 20,
96?
22, 23 years. Yes.
As
In the winter.
yours, as Garage Logic. But you were before that, right? Before you became Garage Logic. How long you been here?
28 years. In November, it'll be 28 years because I started in November of 1990.
All right.
And then April of 91 at the weekend overnights and Monday night sports talk.
Real quickly, what's coming up?
Tim Kirkjohn, Jess dropping in for the final hockey half hour, and Tom Pelissero. We're loaded.
All right. 1500 ESPN is KSTP St. Paul, Minneapolis. I think the what is? Yeah, what's the temperature, though? Are we on the air
70.
now?
No. You misunderstood me. Turn your clocks
Oh,
back.
that's right.
That's what
70
I meant to
degrees.
say.
The Ride with Royce is coming up shortly.